That's how I know Jordan is still in college, because he's got the lights up on his walls in his bedroom.
Jordan, did you just change devices? You can't be changing devices like that. You're messing up the
No.
podcast. It said you changed devices.
No, I just dropped my AirPod.
Yo, what the hell is a Brahma?
Okay.
Great.
Tristan, what did you look up yesterday? Did you see? You remember what you said?
I'm gonna have to look up the definition. Yeah, you look up the definition. I'll pull you up.
Well, I looked up what it actually was.
Yeah.
Well,
I saw the same thing. We got the same answer.
So Tristan looked it up yesterday, and he said it was like a Hindu god, right? Isn't that what you said?
Yeah.
You're going through this Hindu god. So what is, like, you see what the emblem is? Like a goat head, right? So I looked it up, and like I saw the Hindu god there. I was like, obviously that's not what they're named after, because why would it be a goat head?
Sure.
It's like a mix of like it's some kind of like goat or like sheep or like animal in like Argentina and like Texas. It's from Texas. Yeah, that thing.
That's crazy. What a not intimidating mascot.
Good team though.
Yeah.
They look good.
They look good. There was a lot of good football this weekend. Damn.
Oh, I was wrong. It's fully cattle.
It's fully a cattle.
That ugly thing.
Wow.
And again,
ugly.
It's a
no free ads.
Promise free, no free ads.
You guys ever had Brahma milk?
Welcome to NexLevel Sports, first episode, UFL podcast. We used to have XFL, line of scrimmage. Pearl, can you give me a little XFL line of scrimmage real quick?
This is the XFL line of scrimmage.
Yes. You may have heard us on XFL line of scrimmage, and or you probably didn't with our 80 listeners weekly. But UFL is here. It's bigger. It's better. Here to stay. And we're going to crack that 80 listener. I got a feeling. So I'm Tristan. I'm Tristan, one of your hosts.
They can see our names.
So?
Tristan, they can see our names.
There's going to be a lot of editing of this. A lot of editing of this episode. But reason we started this podcast in the first place for the XFL was we were a few D3 retired football players trying to find something to do. Wanted football. Baseball ain't going to cut it. So coming out with a new football league, here to talk about it, here to bring joy to our lives. Since football ended, there isn't much to look to other than more football.
Yeah,
like we talked about. I thought
No, I was just gonna say baseball is definitely not gonna cut it. The Marlins are 0-4 already. Probably the worst team in the major leagues. If I have to watch any Marlins games this summer, you check in, because I'm probably gambling on it, and that's an issue.
At least you can get them at a good value right now. What's your name? Where are you from?
My name is Robert.
Also goes by Pearl if you hear a reference to Pearl.
It's true.
My name's Jordan. Yeah, the baseball take I think is so common. Who likes to watch baseball? I think playoff baseball is fun to watch. I think going to a baseball game, awesome, great time. Watching like 162 games regular season, it's awful. It's just not fun. Gets boring. Great to take a nap with though. But again, I thought in terms of what we saw in the XFL, the USFL the last couple of years, I thought the product that we saw this weekend, the 4 games that we saw, all came down to being competitive through 4 quarters. Some of them were 2-score games at the end, but even then, like, you get a quick score. We didn't even get to see the onside kick where they go for the 4th and 12. But I think that seeing that in the future is going to be really exciting.
I agree. Great opening weekend. Baseball, not it. Too many weeks of baseball. UFL, which I'm going to mess up a lot. UFL, you got 10 weeks and just as much scoring as all the MLB in 10 weeks. So 10 weeks sounds like a good amount of time.
Can we start with that? The name sucks.
That would be a good statistic to track to see if the points in 10 weeks would match that.
I think it would.
Definitely.
Because sometimes you get like 12 runs in a game. I don't know.
We'll add it up. We'll add up some averages at the end of the season, and we'll come
have
back
the
to
techies do that.
This point.
We'll have our assistant do that.
Intern Danny will take a look at that stat.
Yeah, we'll see that never.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
Oh.
I hope he's doing all
I
right.
hate that the name is the UFL though. I really like the XFL much more. I think if with the USFL merging and the XFL merging, I think that's something The Rock should have been like, hey, we're the XFL. We're not gonna. There's no you involved. It's all me, baby. I'm the X Factor.
United? No, they should be rivals. They should be hating each other.
They are rivals.
They are rivals.
There's a lot of rivalry, a lot of trash talking.
So let's get into it. We're doing first, second, third, fourth down. First down, we'll be diving into our review of Week 1 matchups and kind of what we thought of the league so far.
Let's go through it
I got some notes on the league in general. First of all, before we even get into the scores in the XFL versus the other league they joined up with, I want to talk about the ESPN broadcast versus the Fox broadcast. Fox had a great opening game, exciting game. Second game was all right, but the ESPN broadcast so much better. So much better.
Agreed.
Had everything. I called you, Jordan. I called you after the first couple games.
100%
and I said, hey, the XFL lost all its stuff. Where's the player interviews? Where's the betting lines on the screen? I was really disappointed. ESPN on Sunday, they had the betting lines up. They talked about betting. They had some fun stats about YouTubers on the screen, and they did the player interviews. Made it much more exciting, much more enjoyable, fast-paced, had more to listen to, more to engage with. Loved it a lot more. What are you guys' thoughts?
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. I thought it was really interesting because I feel like when you look at the last maybe, I don't know, 10 years of sports broadcasting, ESPN's been like the traditional, the classic type, sticking to like, white America more or less. And Fox has been like the more progressive of like getting betting involved, talking about it, being okay with it. But no, I thought it was a real shift, whereas like ESPN was the one that was like, let's throw the betting lines in there. Let's talk about it. Let's be on the sideline with the players after big plays. When they had the punter through the touchdown today, the pick six, guys on the field with them is right after, like with the mic to them, like that. That's what we wanted to see. That's what we liked about the XFL. So I thought ESPN did a way better job of broadcasting the first weekend of UFL.
Agreed.
Yeah, and ESPN, they just signed that new deal with, I think it was the Churning Group to get the sports betting app going, ESPN Bets. So seeing them move in that direction, it's not super surprising, but I hope it's something that Fox picks up from this week and says, okay, this is something we need to instill in the broadcast moving forward.
I feel like you would think it'd have to come more from the UFL saying like, this is the type of product that we want. Like, this is the audience that we're going to. Like, we want to be more progressive with it. Like I felt like that was like a thing about the XFL. Like that's what they wanted to do. I don't know. I feel like the UFL needs to be like, yo, Fox, like get your crap together.
I agree. I think like good football is going to help you, and I think there was a lot of good football, but you need to be different if you want to get people in. Because you're not going to have the names that you're going to have. You're not going to have the people following from the beginning. You need to have some of these extra added aspects to really get people in and be like, wow, this is cool. This is different. Like I'll enjoy watching this. I'm down.
Yeah, it's almost, I would liken it a little bit to us with our XFL podcast recording before compared to where we are now. Because, before we were shirtless in the recording studio and it felt very, it was a much different vibe than what we're doing. Now we have real equipment and we have it's a little bit more step up in the professionalism. And so
I'm still down to go shirtless.
I was about to say, I'm feeling uncomfortable.
We'll see. We'll see.
I might. We'll see. It's
Maybe
Sunday,
we'll get into a bet on here. Maybe we'll get into a bet on here. We get the
We will have to pick our futures.
If you go 0 for 4 on picks or something, like it's coming tarps off.
So tarps
Tarps off, baby.
100%, 100%, 100%. Yep, we used to be all in college together. Now we're scattered across. I'm in Los Angeles. Jordan.
I'm still in college, sadly. It's been a rough go.
But you must be in a nice place. Where are you?
Yeah, I'm still in college. Just leave it there.
What city?
It's all right.
It
Not all of us
doesn't
can finish
matter.
in 4 years. Not all of us can finish in 4 years. Let's not punch them all these down.
Who would have guessed? Who would have guessed Pearl and I would have been out of college first, and Jordan's still, haven't hit the books.
Every day.
And then Pearl.
I'm in Hong Kong right now. I'll be in India tomorrow. Live in Vietnam. So this is a truly global podcast.
We're taking in the.
What time is it for you right now?
We're
now
really
it's,
getting the global perspective here.
8:37 a.m. Yeah, I'm seeing how the UFL translates to the Asian market. See if there's any streaming rights that we need to jump in on.
You see any big UFL parties going on or anything?
No, but one of my favorite parts about walking around Asia is just looking at everyone wearing the most random sports jerseys you've ever seen. Like, I saw this girl in Vietnam. She was wearing a Sean Green Jets jersey, the running back. I was like, why on earth does anyone own that?
Sounds to me like there's a big market for UFL gear out there.
No, definitely.
These people are great. Everyone in the U.S. is wearing it.
Going off the gear idea, I think some of the uniforms, some of the combos are pretty cool. I think some of them are awful. I think some of them are terrible. Houston's were terrible. Houston was so bad. The helmets, like the straight down the white and the blue, it was terrible, awful.
Yep.
Yeah.
They must.
I don't know. That one really stuck out to me.
They must have had one of those kindergarten design competitions, and whoever design got picked got to be the jerseys and helmets for some of these teams.
Honestly, something.
Yeah, it's like they let some colorblind kid pick all these.
True. Also, the names. All right, Michigan Panthers. I mean, one, just don't even sound good. Two, an NFL got a Panthers team. Carolina Panthers. That sounds good. That makes sense. Have you ever seen a Panther in Michigan?
Have you ever seen one in Carolina?
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
I've never. What's the saying? I've never killed a panther, but I've choked a couple cougars. That's my extent with the Panthers in Michigan.
Right,
15
let's
hours a
dive
month.
into these games.
Yes, I say we do it chronologically. Let's start back to front. Start with St. Louis and Michigan. What was the first game? Birmingham, Arlington?
Yeah.
It was the Birmingham Stallions, Arlington Renegades. Dun, dun.
Final score, Birmingham 27, Arlington 14. We had Matt Corral leading the Stallions to the win over Arlington this week. Honestly, I liked him. I was a little bit, he made some good plays. He had a couple great deep balls. I think he's a guy who I expect to get a lot better throughout the season because I think he has the traits. I just think it was tough first week. I mean, he still put up 27 points, but he was definitely missing on some things that I think later on in the season that they'll improve upon.
Yeah, Adrian Martinez, I know after Matt Corral started, not super strong. Adrian Martinez came in, ran the ball pretty well. What do you have? He had 3 rushes for 52 yards. So
yeah, he's fast.
Pretty solid, very fast, great runner. But I mean, we knew
he was fun to watch in college.
He got hit once in the ankle, and that was the end of his day. And then Matt Corral took over. Thought he had a really good second half. Came back strong after a tough start. Led the team to the victory there. So I was excited to see.
I think
he's great in college.
I think it's fair to say that Matt Corral didn't really play well until after Martinez got hurt. Like Martinez was definitely the better option until he went down. Corral came in, made the deep ball for the touchdown right at the end of the half, and then kind of just got into a groove after that and played really well in the second half.
Martinez was 2 for 6 for 26 yards and a pick. I don't know if that's great. The rushing was great, but like you got to throw the ball.
But
Yeah.
it's not like Corral doesn't have a little movement in his game either.
No,
He does.
he does.
That's
You're right.
not
Also,
something that dropped off.
the Fox announcers were just they were rough, man. They're like, yeah, he is not as fast. He is slow, pretty much compared to. I'm like, Matt Corral's an athlete, all right? Give him a break. Just because he's not Adrian Martinez fast.
He's an athlete now.
He's an athlete. He's an athlete. Give the boy some respect. They're just. I'm like, you guys are slow. You guys are slow up there in the announcer booth. And so
I thought that first game was a potential future championship matchup between those two teams.
well, it was a champion. Those are two championship teams,
Right,
there,
but I'm saying this year, like the end of this year, I could definitely see those two teams playing again.
I know you're a front runner type of guy. You're a Yankees fan, Lakers fan.
They looked good.
You are.
They
Kentucky.
both looked really good.
You just
Perez again, like
mm-hmm.
he played well throughout the whole game.
Yep.
They couldn't finish in the end zone, but he had a great game.
Yeah. Great XFL quarterback, and now for the UFL, I'm a big fan of his. Big fan of the quarterbacks on both of these teams. I think they're some of the top quarterbacks in the league overall.
Even Martinez, all three of them
together. Adrian Martinez, I'd love to see him on a different team, so Matt Corral can really pick it up. Another thing could have been maybe it was just stress. First game, also like he knew he was switching out with Adrian Martinez. That puts a lot of pressure on both your quarterbacks to compete with each other and not feel like they have the leeway to kind of be themselves in the game. So that could have also added to some of the upfront mistakes that both quarterbacks made.
Yeah, I mean, two quarterback systems do not work ever. They never work.
Two quarterbacks, you ain't got one.
You know what else I was super excited to see in this game?
I think they had what?
Marquette King back punting where he belongs.
Arm sleeve.
Special teams. The special teams all weekend. Some exciting stuff all weekend here.
No, they were good.
We had got to check his name again, but that YouTuber playing who's got millions and millions of followers.
Destroying Donald De La Haye.
Yeah, so that's super exciting. We saw a 64-yard field goal to win a game. We saw a fake punt
like that.
Down. Special teams. Love it.
And you know what? There was a lot of really good kick returns into the 40, 50, positive 40-yard line that I think, especially now with the offenses still finding their groove, figuring out what works. I mean, stuff like that, it's so crucial this early. And the one guy who I want to point out was Deion Kane, the receiver. He had a couple really big kick
Clemson
returns.
Guy.
And he also had that big touchdown from Corral before half. And I mean, you take him out of the game, we're looking at a totally different ball game, obviously. But he
157 all purpose yards.
A lot of those long kick returns. What did you think of them using that old kickoff style back at the 20?
I think take it in while we still got it, because of course NFL is going to change this year, and we're going to see how that works. I think we saw some good returns with it in the XFL last season, but I think for what it's worth, I like the old kickoff. I didn't really have any issues with it. I just wanted people to return it, and today we were seeing returns. And
definitely.
That I'm a fan of it, and I don't want them to change anything about that right now.
I'll say I got tired. I got tired just watching them run from the 20 all the way down the field. That's a long ways. That's a long ways, and then to have to make the tackle also. So I think advantage goes to the returning team for sure here.
Well, that's the benefit.
I thought you were a kicker.
If in theory, if Tristan was the one kicking, you wouldn't get so tired, because the ball would just not go as far. So you're running less distance.
If you guys didn't know, I was a college kicker, hold 2 records, and also fifth all-leading scorer in kicking points in college school history for my college. So that's what he was referring to about my lack of distance in kicking.
Range for days. 4 days would let him go all up and down that sideline before not let him out.
Thanks, Coach. Awesome.
Yeah.
I think these are two top that'll be fun to watch throughout the year. But the Birmingham Stallions taking this one.
Well, so they what's it called? They interviewed The Rock during the game, during the broadcast, and I think he needs to stop talking about it. I think he needs to just be about it. I think he needs to strap up. I mean, you can't lead from the back, man. You got to be up there in the front lines. He played a little DT back in his day. We all seen the highlights. I mean, he's obviously still got some strength on him. I think he should strap up one game. I think that would be a good rule.
I think Danny Garcia too. I think she should jump in there for one game then too.
Who?
Danny Garcia. If she's gonna be part owner of the league, I think she should jump in there too.
I bet she plays handsy. A lot of grabbing, a lot of holding.
All right, next. What's the next game? Next game was
all right, next game. We got St. Louis Battlehawks losing to the Michigan Panthers of Michigan, not Carolina. 18-16 final score. Thoughts?
I mean, there's only one thing you can say about that game, and his name is Jake Bates. But he came in, drilled a 64-yarder, had some room to spare.
Twice. Made it twice.
That was impressive. He certainly, everyone on Twitter was saying this guy's going to get a shot and play on Sundays.
So soon.
You make a 64-yarder to win a game, that locks you in there pretty good with the coaches and the GMs and the fans.
Yeah.
Thought
overall the quarter there were 4 leads.
Yeah.
So another competitive game that came right down to the end.
Yeah. This one, first half, a little slow, not a lot of scoring. Fix your connection, Jordans. If you keep talking over us, we're going to boot you out of here. AJ McCarron, 24 for 37, 216 yards, 2 touchdowns. Thought it was a pretty solid performance. Wayne Gallman running the ball, 13 attempts, 40 yards. Pretty okay. That's another Giant who's on a losing team once again. So tough for Wayne Gallman there.
What else is new?
Is
new? Yeah.
What's it called? AJ McCarron had an okay game, but really the quarterback, and he might be my MVP dark horse. I love EJ Perry. I think this guy, he is really going to he had 2 rushing touchdowns today, but I liked his game coming out of Brown. He's an Ivy League guy. He's obviously got a good head on his shoulders. I think he's someone who I wouldn't mind throwing a little U.S. currency on that guy to win MVP from later this season.
I don't think he makes it through the season as a starting quarterback. I'm on the opposite boat here. 12 for 24, 176 yards.
He looked awful.
Interceptions.
I don't care.
He looked awful.
I don't know what game you were watching.
This guy.
The first couple drives, he looked awful.
I would not put this loss on him, though. I mean, keep in mind here, guys.
It won.
Yeah. Thank you. Now we're critiquing winners. Like, this guy put his team in position to win the game.
With the 2 picks or with the 50% completion rate?
Okay, well, you know what? You want to talk about the picks? One of those picks was just such a bad bounce, okay? You got them down all the way to the 5-yard line, and they just bounced off the receiver's hands, okay? Like,
on the right throw, too. The right throw. Yeah. Threw a low to him.
But you know what? He went right back down there the next possession, and they scored.
Yeah.
So it's like I think he's someone who I like moving forward in this season.
I just can't get over the Michigan Panthers name. I think they're not going to be very good this season. I think they got a good win here, but I'm not seeing a lot from the roster or from the first game, other than having a great kicker. That's got me too excited. St. Louis, AJ McCarron, I thought was pretty solid. He's got me excited. Gotta do a little more on the run game. I think defense played pretty well, but we'll see. What's your thoughts, Jordan? Shaking your head a lot over there.
No, you said AJ McCarron has you excited. All right, good for you.
That's what I thought.
That's what I thought. No, I didn't think that this game quality wise was up to par with the first game. I thought these two teams. I mean, the score. It was competitive. It was exciting at the very end. I don't know. The first 3.5 quarters was like, this is not like the first game. That was my opinion of it.
One more thing about, and Tristan, this might help with your name thing. After the game, the Michigan Panthers tweeted out the updated records, and they referred to themselves as the Motor City Kitties. I don't know if that makes it better or worse, but that is quite the choice to go with. I
True.
mean, that,
I just want to see the person running this social media page.
well, they also called the Battle Hawks the Battle Pigeons. So this
It's
the
like a
social media
Nickelodeon
admin at
version.
Michigan definitely thought he put in work today. He definitely went home. He said, I had a good day at work.
Let's move on. Game number 3. XFL went 0-2 in their opening 2 games, but hey, they got a win in game number 3. DC Defenders versus San Antonio Brahmas. Work on that. But San Antonio, but XFL, San Antonio got a win. Let's go.
Wow. I want to just say this. I miss the old quarterback for the DC Defenders who was lighting it up.
Chubbs?
No,
Chubby?
No, who was
Cardale Jones?
Cardale Jones.
Cardale Jones.
Yeah, Chubb's there.
I wanted him to be out there and start slinging that thing. Don't call him chubby.
Cardale Jones was looking like that before COVID. Can't imagine what happened during.
God.
We all dealt with the pandemic differently, Tristan.
This game was interesting. Brahmas opened up at plus 1,200 to win the championship, lowest odds of any team in the UFL. But my opinion was they were the most prepared team to play right from the get-go. The offense, the first drive was clicking. That offense was explosive like the whole game. That was a fun offense to watch, fun team to watch. Their defense was bend don't break throughout the whole game. Only ended up with 4 field goals. That's how they got 12 points. And then even we could kind of talk about the rule if you want now, but the ability to challenge any call as long as you're specific about what you want to challenge, and them using it on a touchdown, which put the game 18-12. It was like 8 or what? It went to
that was the no.
It was like a 2-point game at that, whatever it was. It ended up being like a 2-point game. Right. And then the guy got ejected for spitting, which was wild.
Yep.
But it was a 2-point game, was really close. They then reviewed it, took it off the board. I mean, it was exciting. But again, I thought the Brahmas looked prepared, that they were well coached, and they executed the whole game.
Yeah, I thought they looked good. Garbers looked good. Anyone got some info on him? But 1925, 158 yards, a lot of checkdowns on all these teams, I feel, but 2 touchdowns. That's pretty solid. Brad Wing, also an ex-Giant, killing it in the UFL, going 1 for 1, 40 yards for a touchdown to the center. Great exciting play there. Jordan Ta'amu, I was excited to see him back in action. Not the performance I was hoping to see out of him. 25 for 45, 235 yards, and 1 interception, but a lot of checkdowns. Gotta get the ball down the field.
Let me say, before you say anything, bro, I think you're wrong about the checkdowns. I think Garbers was on time. I think he just made the right throws. I think it's very similar to what Tua does. He just throws the ball on time where it needs to go. No, I'm not saying that as a bad thing. Like, Tua gets the ball to the 2 guys that he needs to in space and lets them run. I think that's what he's supposed to do. But I think that's what Garbers did. And I don't think it was checkdowns. I think he was just quick with his reads and he was on time.
Yeah, they had who was it? Kiki Kati, right? Former NFL receiver out there but he was shoot, what was I gonna say? I think when I look at the level of play in this game, the people who I really expected to show out, I expected Jordan Ta'amu to play a lot better than he did. I came away a little bit like, I expected more because he's a veteran of this sort of spring football thing. Like he has the experience on that side. But then it also just showed like Kiki Kuti had a great game, and he played receiver for the Texans in the Jags for a little bit. Like he looked like someone who could still perform out there.
Yeah, I know. I was excited to see who they said was going to be the heart and soul of the Brahmas. Cody Latimer really balling out with his stat line: 1 reception, 7 yards. This is a good start to the season.
That's good. No, my favorite point in this game was when Ta'amu got knocked out for 2 plays and DeAndre Francois came in, right?
DeAndre Francois.
And then Ta'amu comes back, and this guy rips a pass to the sideline on an out route. TV undercuts it so hard, but he couldn't. that's pick six all over it. And the guy got hawked. Like, he looked tired at the end of that play.
From how long you have to run on kickoff.
Yeah, that was it. That was it. That was but I that really put the nail in the coffin for Tamu's day for me. I'm like, you're fighting to come back in, and your first play is like just terrible.
Let's hop to our last game number 4, Memphis Showboats against the Houston Roughnecks. What are you guys' thoughts?
So the Roughnecks originally are an XFL team, but the team that they took over, like took place of, is a USFL team.
Okay.
But,
all right. So 3 wins throughout the weekend. Good showing for AFL or whatever.
USFL.
USFL. That's what it is. 18-12. So great start for them. Kukas. Looking good out there. Not looking solid. I guess solid. Maybe good. But my boy Vinny Papali with the toe drag on the back of the end zone, pulling in the ball. Great touchdown catch by him. Thought he had a good solid game, especially that play.
Yeah. I think he had a solid game. I think that's a fair assessment. Like, he played well the whole game.
Yeah. Four receptions for 36 yards in the touchdown. I know he had a big third down conversion as well in the game. So shout out Jersey boy Vinny Papali.
I was like pretty impressed with this game. I enjoyed watching this game a lot. I don't know why, because I think it was definitely the other games. It was what, the lowest scoring game of the weekend, 30 total points, right? Mm-hmm. But I think that these guys were just flying around, seeing Reuben Foster out there getting a pick, forcing a fumble. He got hurt late in the game. But I mean, without him out there, I think this, first of all, it's just nowhere near as close, because that pick was in the, a little bit before the red zone area. And of course the fumble was in the red zone also. So I think without him out there, which was what made it exciting, there could have been more points, but I like to see the defense step up and make plays when they have the opportunity to.
Yeah.
And, he was someone who definitely, I hope he comes back healthy for next week, because the defense is going to look a lot different if he's not out there.
Yeah. Do got to talk about how Houston, had a chance to come back, but one offsides on a field goal. When even making the field goal wouldn't have been a huge difference. I mean, I know you'll make a play in the first game, but that's going to cost your team. And then fumbling the punt, that was it. That was over. That's a tough way to go down.
I think going from the Brahmas, like, to me, the Brahmas well coached, ready to go, and then I thought Roughnecks were not, like, at all, offensively, defensively, special teams. Not ready. Just, I don't know. They didn't look good to me. I mean, Reuben Foster, I thought, had a great day. I think he kept them in the game more than anyone else. But, I disagree with your opinion that this game was fun to watch. I thought this was the worst of all of them, to be honest. But I don't know.
I think sometimes you got to embrace the chaos, and I think especially Tristan was so right with that muff kick at the end of the game. That wasn't even like, oh, I bobbled it and it fell down in front of me. That thing shot away from the guy, and it was he was not even close to recovering it.
I know. With all the different stories going around sports right now, with betting and illegal betting, be a little less obvious, guy, if you're gonna throw the game. I mean, come on, that was pretty obvious right there.
Like a live line.
Keep it a little more hidden.
Well, maybe next time they'll keep their interpreter on the sideline as opposed to having him field punts.
Exactly. It'd be like, that wasn't our actual punt return.
Yeah. No, I think that overall, solid weekend of football. I was very pleased.
Excited to have football back. Excited to have football back and get back into it.
I'm excited to see Rashid Rice join the UFL also. He's taking a fast track to this league.
Moving on. Second down. No, that'd be first down. So, second down here, talking about some of the rule changes, what we like, what we don't like, our thoughts. Are they missing any that they had in the XFL that we wanted to bring back over? But let's dive into it with our expert, Jordan Hollander.
Oh, yeah. We talked about a bunch of them already. I think The onside attempt, I think, is going to be really exciting to watch. I think they had that in the USFL, which I believe one of the broadcasts said it was like a 40% success rate or 30 or something like that, which is pretty high. The punt rule that they brought over from the XFL where you have to wait until they punt, I like that. Reviewing anything, we talked about that, I like that.
That's the one that I feel is going to have the most credence on the season, is the reviewing anything, as long as you're specific about it. Because, I mean, how often do we see during a game? And I don't think I'm walking away from this weekend saying, oh, the refs really determined the outcome of any of these games, or the refs had a bad performance here or there. I mean, there's always going to be questionable calls, but I think overall the refs did a good job. And having the ability to change any of the calls just will make the game that much better. And I think that's something the NFL should adopt if they can prove that they can do it quickly.
I think the quick reviews, also how quickly they're radioing up and down, running through it. I think makes it exciting. The fact you can hear what they're talking about, I think is great. The ability to challenge that everything like that's huge. That should be, in the NFL. I think 100%. I know we talked about some of the camera angles, the interviewing players on the sideline that ESPN did. I thought was great. The ones with the Fox with the backup quarterback kind of telling you what play you're gonna run. I think that's interesting. But the interviews with players and showing their emotion. Yeah, I think it's good, but I like the emotion. I like hearing them out of breath and then hearing, oh, they fumbled again. I got to get back on the field, and the coach calling you. I think that's exciting. It's a little distracting probably for the players, but I think it adds an aspect for the fans that we love to see.
Well, let me say this. I think Dean Blandino felt way too important today, being on every call and hearing he felt like he was the guy, which whatever, cool. You're in New York doing your thing, man. Being able to hear what the referees are talking about, being able to hear the discussion, seeing how they come to the decision. I thought, I think as a football player, someone who's been around it, you kind of understand what the coaches do and what the players do, but you don't really see the referee side of it. So I thought that was kind of cool, which I think goes into talking about the access, being able to hear the players talk, being able to hear the discussion with the coaches, the sideline reporting, all the other camera views, if you saw the measurement thing for the first down, where it gives you the 4K instead of walking the chains out, I thought was really cool. The drone footage, I thought was really cool. I don't know. I thought Dean Blandino felt way too important.
I agree. I hate Dean Blandino. I think referees are losers.
He's always got the hair perfectly gelled.
It's just I
can't stand
refs at all. And so for him to be the most important ref, cool, you're the leader of the losers, bro. Nobody likes you.
This reminds me of someone we know, Phil Petrina, trying to make it as a ref. Hair gelled.
I can see it. I can see it.
I can see him. I can say, hey, Phil Petrina in the booth. What you got for us? Well, we don't have a camera angle, so we cannot be definitive on this. I can see it.
Great call.
Also, how with how many cameras we got, especially on an offsides, they go, well, we don't got a good camera angle of it. How you not get a camera angle of the offsides?
I mean, I think he was definitely offsides. I don't know if that was really questionable.
Well, then say that. Say we don't have a camera angle. I think that's crazy.
Well, he was saying he didn't have a shot down the line, which I don't know. I mean, they said they have the 4K thing.
You don't have a shot down the line.
Yeah, that's fair. The iPads, they have the live feed with the iPads on the sideline, which I mean, the NFL not doing that, I feel like it's just move on with just grow with technology. Just move on. What's it gonna do?
Yeah. What's our thought? 1 foot, 2 foot.
I think if this is a feeder league, if it's a feeder league for the NFL, it should be 2 feet, and that's what it's supposed to be. So I think they're probably a good decision.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess when you look at it like that, that's true.
Didn't hurt Vinny Papale.
There wasn't any that True. Vinny Papale getting both feet in there.
I think we've talked about it. We kind of like the kickoff being so close and that being the one-on-one. I mean, I think I did. I liked it. I don't really like this traditional thing as much as them being 5 yards apart or the 10 yards apart. I thought that was fun to watch.
They should bring it back even further. They should go to the original XFL kickoff rule, where you had the two guys sprinting down the field and fighting for the ball.
That would be great. That'd be great.
You remember watching that one, bro?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Big time. I think I was about 4 years old.
I had a he hate me jersey. You'll see that one walking around Vietnam a lot.
Bringing it back. Bringing it back.
I think we gotta start selling UFL jerseys in Vietnam.
You know, they got some questionable style senses, so I think that some of these would really hit it off.
Yeah, get them with the Roughnecks, getting the Roughneck jerseys out there.
No, the one I hated was the Panthers. I hated that jersey so much.
I just can't get over the name.
Hey,
it's just so unoriginal.
Motor City Kitties, baby. Let's purr.
That's even wilder. That's even wilder. But all right, let's move on to third down.
Did you see the report about the women's game in Seattle or Portland? It was in Portland where the 3-point lines aren't even. Did you see this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they decide to play, which I'm sitting there and I'm like, well, what does it matter? Because at halftime you have to switch anyway. So why does it matter if they're uneven? Because you're gonna have to switch anyways.
Right.
Like it's even at the end of the day, it's even. Like everyone's playing on the same court.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just embarrassing, right? It's for a trip to the
100%. So embarrassing.
Like it's so with the way, especially with how much attention the women's game is getting now, for them to be like, wow, they can't even paint the court the right way. It's like, I don't know. True. It definitely puts an asterisk on Caitlin Clark's whole career, though. Who knows how many courts she's played on that haven't been painted correctly?
Are you gonna watch the LSU Iowa game or no?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I want
you actually?
Oh yeah. When is it?
Tomorrow.
Yeah. As long as it works in my schedule, I'm definitely gonna watch it. I think it'll be good TV.
You saw that report that came out about Kim Mulkey?
Yeah, I did. I read that.
Which one?
Sort of like whatever.
I mean, it was kind of light. For her to get that mad about it in those interviews, I was like, that was a light story for you to be like that mad.
Dude, she's such a Karen. I liked her.
The worst,
her at Baylor, but she's just gone so whiny. I just and you know, I kind of hate Caitlin Clark too. I hate both of these star players, the Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. No,
how do you hate Caitlin Clark?
It's just so well, because I think she's just a whitewashed Paige Bucher. That's what I think. I think
she's good, bro.
You know, Paige Bucher's still playing college basketball.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't.
They're a 3 seed. UConn's a 3 seed. How about that?
Yeah, I didn't even know. But like her fame really died off with Caitlin Clark.
She probably plays.
Over. Oh yeah. I mean, Caitlin Clark grew up playing men's AAU basketball.
I mean, she's good. She's phenomenal.
That's why she's such involved. But
why get any closer if you don't have to? Saving mileage.
They never guard you.
Ray Allen made a career off of it. Ray Allen made a career off of it. Steph Curry's going to be one of the greatest shooters of all time because of that. I'm glad we didn't get on a tangent at all. That's good.
Yep. Well, that's our third down for you. Talking about a different sport every third down.
What a pivot. What a pivot. We talked about the UFL to women's college basketball. We were really hitting all the markets.
The least.
Was it not a good filler? Was it not a good filler?
It was great. It was great. Next week, maybe we'll talk about
Formula 1. Down.
Yep. So fourth down, money down.
Gotta convert.
Bet it down. You gotta convert because we are desperate. We need the money. We need the money. So here's our picks for the week. We don't have the lines yet, so we are either going to re-record this with the lines, or 2, we're just going to tell you our favorites and then see what the lines are. We'll probably have to re-record this. Diving in our betting segment, but it's not betting if you're always making money. It's called win. So let's dive in first.
We have to have the "Here Comes the Money" bring us in again.
Money.
Yeah, that was like my favorite part of the XFL podcast.
Dollar. Yeah, well, that's copyrighted, so.
Well,
we'll buy the copyright.
Can afford it.
What are you doing?
Well, let's win some bets first, and then we can buy the song. All right? How about that?
Kick it off, Tristan. Take us to Saturday.
First matchup, we have the San Antonio Brahmas versus the Memphis Showboats.
I think what we should do is we should make our picks based on what we think the line is going to be, and then that should be our pick. Whoever gets like the closest wins.
I love it. This game is easy for me.
Wait. Whoever gets the closest to what the actual line is and gets it right.
Well, I mean, if you get it right, you're obviously the closest.
I think I think the first game, the Brahmas Showboats, I think Showboats are going to come out here and really declare themselves as a force in this league. I think that's going to be one of my more confident picks of the weekend.
Wow. So what do you think the line is going to be?
I think they're going to be underdogs. I think that they're going to be I think it's going to be a 4-point spread. But I think they come out and I think that they win money line.
You think Memphis Showboats at +4 are going to come out and win money line?
Yep.
Okay. I think +4 is a pretty solid line. I think that's what it can be, but I think the San Antonio B words are going to be able to pull it off.
Let me revise it because they are the home team. Home team should get what? 2 points? 3 points?
3, right? 3.
Yeah, it's 3 points, but I think UFL it's probably going to be a little bit less. I think they probably get 2.5. So I would put this at 3.5. That's where I'm going to sit on it.
So you want half a point?
Yeah.
Okay.
Home team.
2 points for home. Do the math. Half a point off.
Yep.
Look, when the line comes out at 3.5.
No,
it's 3.
I think Brahmas are going to open it, or it's going to be at like -2.5. And I think they're going to win this game by 2 scores. I don't even think it's going to be close.
Yeah.
The Showboats, I do not think are good. They're just a bunch of showboats.
What the hell is Brahma? What the hell is a Brahma?
It's a cattle. It's a type of cattle.
Our opening.
No, I know, but that's what the Showboats are going to be saying in the locker room.
What's a showboat?
To show off.
What I do after I score, baby.
Facts.
Literally.
Facts. Awesome. And then game number 2, Arlington Renegades versus St. Louis Battlehawks. How we feeling in St. Louis? Excited to see that. I think the fans are going to be very excited. I think they're going to show up. I think they're coming out strong. I think Arlington Renegades are going to be. I'm going to put this game at even. But I think St. Louis, with the help of their fans, are going to come out strong. I think Agent McCarron is going to have a good game, and I think they are going to get the dub here.
I think I think it's going to be pretty close. I think it's going to be like 1 either way. I think it's probably going to be 1 for the Ren. Because St. Louis is home, I think they might get it. But I think it's going to be 1 for the Renegades, and I think Renegades are going to win.
Split decision. What you got for this cider?
I think that this has Battlehawks written all over it. I think that that was one of the big takeaways from the last XFL season for me was how much that city rallied around the Battlehawks. They probably had one of the best fan bases out of any of the teams. And I think this is going to be their home opener, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I think for their home opener, they're going to want to put out, and everyone's going to go home happy. So but I don't like the 1 line. I think St. Louis will be favored here. I think they'll be favored by 2 points. It's also weird the spreads because you can get the 3-point conversion. You can get the it's just interesting. I don't think we've had anything really the outcome really be dictated by any of that yet, but who knows? It could be. It's in the rules for a reason.
Yeah. Cool. Game number 3, Birmingham Stallions versus Michigan Panthers. I'll let you take this one first. Games in Detroit, Michigan, home game for the Panthers.
Give me those Motor City Kitties, baby. That's what I like. I think that they got a good thing. I think playing in the Lions Stadium at Ford Field, they're feeling that Dan Campbell magic. They're feeling good. They're like, and you know what? I made a note here, actually. They have this linebacker, Mike Rose, who wears the horse collar, and he had a pick this week. I'm like, there's no way Dan Campbell lets that man out of Detroit, right? I mean, he was all over the field. He played with that toughness, that grittiness. But I think that's also a little bit of how this team wants to play. They want to play a little hard-nosed ball, and so give me that. I like the Panthers over the Stallions here, and I think that spread will probably be Panthers minus I think the Panthers are going to be favorited, but it's probably going to be around the same four line.
Panthers -4, you think?
Maybe a little bit higher, maybe 5.5.
Wow.
So, okay. Hot take. Stallions, 2-time defending champions of the USFL, come in, put an ass whooping on the Renegades, like opening day. Bro's like, nah, they didn't prove nothing to me. I think you're wrong. I think that's a terrible line. I think the Stallions are probably going to open at like -3, -3.5, and I think they probably cover. I think they probably win by 9 or 10. That would be my guess.
Wow. Mr.
I'm with you
Chalk
100%,
over here.
Jordan.
Mr. Chalk.
I'm with you 100%. I'm with you 100%.
I don't think me and you have agreed on one yet.
Yeah. Birmingham Stallions -4. I think they easily cover. I think Michigan Panthers are not a good team, not a good name.
Well,
just not it.
They're all right.
That's my thoughts there. Just plain and simple. Last game we got Sunday on Fox. All other games will be on ESPN/ABC. Last game, Houston Roughnecks versus DC Defenders in Washington, DC at Audi Field. What you got, Jordan?
In DC, I think DC will get back on track this week. I think their offense became really stagnant when they were moving the ball down the field in the red zone. Honestly, I think their coach made a couple. Like there was one 4th down where it was like 4th and 1 or 4th and 2, and he decided to kick the field goal when they were down like 8 or 9 at that point. Like just to me, it was like just go for it. Like see what happens. Like it was early in the game; it didn't really matter that much. I mean, I guess I kept them in a 1-possession game for the rest of it, but I think they get back on track. I think they'll probably open at like, or not open, but close at like -2 or -3, and I think they'll. I'd say they'll cover. I think they'll cover that though. So I'd say Defenders -3. 2. I'll say 2. I'll say Defenders -2.
That's a good point on the coaching because I think Pep Hamilton was one of my favorite coaches last year with the Defenders. And this year they got Reggie Barlow. And I'm not impressed after week 1.
Yeah.
So I think, and especially if the Roughnecks are healthy next week, I think that they have a chance to finally get in the win column here. So that's you know what? Yeah, I'll go with them. I think that they are going to be the underdog here. I think it will be close, similar along to the line that you said, Jordan. But I think that they're gonna come through and play strong defense. I think that's gonna win them this game.
All right. Yeah, I think DC Defenders are going to open up about -2.5, -3. I think Jordan Ta'amu is going to have a better game. I want to see him use those medium speed wheels he's got run the ball a little more. And I'd love to see the DC Defenders come out here with a win at home. I think from what we're looking at too, we're seeing XFL bounce back. I think we're all XFL fans here and want to see him have a few wins coming off of week 1 and tough start to the season.
It's a long season, man.
It's a long season. This is week 1.
We've not seen the last of any of these teams. Right? Yeah, it's a 10-week season.
Yeah.
And you got playoffs.
I will say though, in our episode 2, I believe, of the XFL Line of Scrimmage podcast, we talked about how Valentine's Day was coming up. We said, you got your girl anytime. You never know when the XFL is going to end. And 3 weeks later, COVID came in and ended that shit real quick. So we foresaw something there. So if you spent your time with your girl instead of the XFL, look at you now, buddy. You look like a fool.
A fool. No,
awesome.
You're right.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of NexLevel Sports UFL First Podcast, Episode 1. Tristan signing off. Jordan Pearl also.
See you next week.
Thanks, guys. If we don't
make sure to stay on for the Q&A portion for any fans.
Any live Q&A.
I'll ask you questions. I got a couple for you.
Please hit me with the hard-hitting questions.
Okay, next racer Formula One to win a race other than Max.
The next one.
I don't think that
if Max doesn't win the race, who's going to be the next one to win a race in Formula One?
Lando Norris.
I think Charles.